There it is. Excellent connection, it says. Excellent connection, it says. That's pretty quick. That's pretty quick. Okay. How do I manage chat? How do I manage? I'm live though. Okay. I'll probably slap it over here, right? Docs. Chat. Nice. Yo, I'm not missing the stream this time. Hey. You made it. What time is it for you, though? For me, it is... I mean, you can see it. It's almost 11 o'clock. All right. So what am I doing tonight? I will be working on sound effects. Adrian... Oh, it's an hour later for you. Okay. I'll be working on the sound effects from Adrian. Adrian is getting really close on finishing all of the sound effects. I'm just kind of showing you a sneak peek under the hood of our list that we're using. He's got tons of sound effects. I've got a column here of all the sound effects that I have in game. Anyway, doing sound effects tonight, and then if I have time, I'll get to Atropas. I want to stream for at least an hour, maybe longer, depending on just how tired I get. I got a water bottle. This time it's just water, nothing caffeinated, because I already had my caffeine intake for the day, and I probably want to be able to sleep sometime after I'm done streaming. Got a bowl of pistachios for snacking. I even got my Costco brand granola bars. So that's what I got for prep. Let's see. I want to try to track how many people are on the stream at any given time. I got 2 viewers right now. I think I'm one of those viewers, so it might just be you and me right now, Jay. We'll see, though. I mean, I figure this is showing up on YouTube, right? I streamed on Twitch last time, and it was super fun, super cool. It was just people in the Discord server that were on it, so I'm chill with that, too. I just figured YouTube might have a broader reach because I don't have any following whatsoever on Twitch. We'll see, though. We'll see if anybody's on. Yeah, I'll slap a link into the Discord server as well. Streaming dev again, but on YouTube this time. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I tested some of the volume and all that stuff beforehand, but just in case it's not working. Share this. Copy that. I'm going to say here, I don't really have time to make devlogs right now. So hopefully this can serve at least as a substitute. All right, posted that there. Holy moly, I got so much crap open. Wowza. Let's close a bunch of this. This is getting a little out of hand. Okay, better. This was the thumbnail that I threw together super fast. Yeah. Late night dev stream thumb. Who knows? Maybe I'll use it more often. Okay, we can close that program. We got so much stuff open. Okay. It's 147. What was that noise? Am I not on streamer mode? Should I be on streamer? I guess it doesn't matter. Because this is all on a public server anyway. Yeah, well... Dude, no worries. I know it's late. Holy moly, that is very late for you. Who we got here? Nico's here. Keegan's here. To work on making my own custom as a get your system at all. Oh, yeah, no. Work on modding while I watch. Nah, Nico, I think I'm going to try it on YouTube because we have a bigger audience over here. And the biggest reason I'm doing this, partially is just because, like, I don't want to be, like, lonely at night working on dev. I'm kind of getting sick of being by myself all the time. And the other reason is with crunch time, like, I don't even think I'm going to have time to make devlogs until this game is done. So this is like a substitute for a devlog, basically. Isn't great. I know devlogs are just generally kind of better, but at least I'm connecting with you guys to make sure that I'm keeping you updated on what we're up to, what we're doing. Very much bedtime. Oh yeah, Keegan just came in to say it's bedtime, and then he said no. Yeah, that's chill. That's chill. Because like I'm in a mountain daylight time, and I know Eastern time is even later than this. So, truthfully, like the only people who might be watching this stream are gonna be, I don't know, people in Europe watching it in the morning. This might be a terrible time for a stream, so who knows? It probably is a terrible time for a stream, but we'll see. Maybe the video gets some views on YouTube after the fact. All right, sound effects, guys. So I've got desktop audio turned down a little bit on OBS, but to catch everybody up, we got this list of sound effects from Adrian, and it's 12:50 and you're not in Europe. Yeah, it's super late. Well, if you have insomnia or struggling falling asleep, I can at least keep you company. We got these sound effects from Adrian. We're going to bring in all of Chapter 4 tonight. That shouldn't be too bad. That's, 10 items? Yeah. Then from there, we'll do some Atropas. So we'll see how it goes. If there's time and if I'm still feeling energy, I might get into the Chapter 5 stuff. So what I was looking at before I decided to stream was these switches. So, like that, I took this for the thumbnail. Straight out of this room. All right. Let's head over here. So, it's going to be a little more code heavy than last time, at least for this first chunk. What I've done here is thrown down this switch off. Here, let's listen to it. Let me turn the desktop audio up a little bit. It's coming in at like negative 20 decibels. Here. There it is. There's the switch off. Here's the switch on. And that is going to be associated with this thing in Chapter 4. So I just barely pulled it in. I haven't tested it yet, so I just want to see how it sounds. I moved the player over in this room because I know that I'll be able to test it in this room. Go from there. Hey, dragons. Yeah, no worries. The groovy game. Thanks for wishing me a lovely stream. I appreciate that. My biggest concern is that I'm gonna have like reflux for snacking late. Oops. So you can hear the platforms moving there. I just barely put that sound effect in. I did like a proximity effect, so it's quieter if you get further away. Anyway, let's test these toggles out. I like that. Shoom. You guys hearing it? Yoom. Yeah. That feels good. That feels balanced pretty well too. I suppose it's a little quiet, I guess. I could probably bump up the gain a little bit on it. Ah, jeez. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to bump the gain up just a little. Just because the spirit's kind of coming in, like, significantly louder. I think the spirit probably should still be the loudest thing happening because that's directly influenced by the player's actions. But I'm using Adobe Audition here. It's really easy to just come in here and change the source file. I might ask Adrian to come in and do balancing. But at least at a first pass, I'm trying to get the balance decent, you know? So I bumped each one up by 2 decibels there. We'll reload that and run with that, see how that feels. So is it late for everybody, or just some people in a time zone that's a little more reasonable? I like it. I think that's good. Yeah. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Alright. Prof, 10 p.m. isn't too late, I'd say. Oh, nice. Have a good stream. Oh, Prof, you're probably based out of the West Coast. West Coast, huh? Like Seattle area. I can't remember where you're from. Okay. So. That's done. That's done. Did I check it off? Check. Jesus, witches. Yeah, no worries, Nico. Let's chill. Oh, yeah, dude. PAX West. From California. Yeah, that's definitely a trip still. Oh, it's so fun. I can't get over it. And it was so cool that you happened to be in the booth right next to ours. That was just like serendipitous. It was so perfect. All right. So sound effects. We got, where did I throw that in? I've got too much stuff open. Spirit states. Yeah, I did that, and then I did a little bit of like pitch correction as well. So it'll choose one of these 3 pitch corrections, either 1, which is just the basic sound, or 0.95, slightly lower, 0.105, slightly higher. Maybe that's reversed. I don't really know, but just gives it some variety. So I don't even need like multiple sound effects. I can just code that in. It doesn't take a whole lot of processing power either. So, all right, let's go on to the next sound effects. Crazy luck. I'm glad I got the GDQ folks to stop by too. I admittedly went into PAX not even knowing about the speedrun stage either. Yeah, I had heard rumors of the speedrun stage before we went there, but I didn't know much about it. So, dude, it was so cool that you got the GDQ people over. That was amazing. 1 a.m. for you, Pink Door. No. Won't be staying long. Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm glad you're able to see the stream. We'll see how this does, right? I'm just kind of experimenting. I'll leave it on the channel, maybe, as long as I don't, like, embarrass myself. And we'll see if the live stream even gets some, like, views after the fact. We're in crunch mode, and I barely even have time to make devlogs anymore. So I'm trying to kind of make up for the fact that my devlogs are going to be super sparse or non-existent until we release. All right. Next sound effect. We got Spirit Ball Bounce. Ooh, this is something that's been temp for a long time. I'm really excited to get Adrian's sound effect in this. Right now, it's just like a little knock. That's melodic. That's in line with a lot of the sound effects that I've been doing too. I'm definitely going to need a lot of pitch corrections on it though, because we're going to be hearing it bounce a lot, and it's just the same noise over and over again. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, not into that. So, where would that be even? Bounce? Oh, Spirit Bounce, perhaps? Okay, it's in the Spirit State bouncing, so let's jump over to that script. Weird. Discord makes a different sound while I'm streaming. All right. Where was it? There it is. Okay. We have an audio happening somewhere in here. There's the rejoin. Where's the bounce logic? It's all right here. Isn't that wild? So simple. Just 2 lines of code. Right now it's knocking noises. We're going to swap it out for this new one. Ball bounce. So let's throw that in. That's the only sound effect we're going to have. Oops. So definitely going to be using the pitch correction part of GameMaker. It does not loop. Gain is just 1. I have a different gain controller. for sound effects. Offset is the timing. There is no offset. Pitch correction, though. There's a couple ways we can do pitch correction. We can do it with like a random function, or we could do it with a choose function. Choose takes much less processing power from what I understand. So I think I'm still going to do choose. I should double check that, though. That's an assumption that I've had for a while. Does choose take less processing than random in GameMaker? Probably does, right? Oh my gosh, there's no meaningful performance difference between choose and random functions. Oh, it's so small. I was always under the impression that random took a lot of processing value, but maybe I was wrong. You changed Discord. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to deal with it right now. The sound effects don't bother me, I guess. Cool. So I guess random is not that big a deal. For some reason, I thought random would take a lot more processing power. So, cool. In that regard, we're doing a random. So, random pitch correction. We're going to randomly pitch correct. I wonder if it's going to give us like chromatic. Like, it's going to give us even more granular than chromatic. Anyway, we don't want to go crazy with the pitch correction. Maybe only like 0.15. So we'll go just a range of 0.15 in either direction. And that will be the sound. I'm sure there's another way to do this besides coding it twice, but I'm not a professional. Why is it mad at me, though? Probably because I didn't close the parenthesis. Sick. Tight. And then it's telling me something is only being referenced once. What is only being referenced once? Hello? Oh, the number random expected 1 but got 2. Oh, that's because I want random range. Whoops. There we go. Okay, random range. So that's a random range on the pitch correction. That'll make the bounce pitch sound not the exact same sound every time. Hey, Xenon. Welcome to the stream. We have 9 concurrent viewers. I think we only had 5 over on Twitch, so YouTube's better. All right. I'm feeling it. It feels a little spooky, doesn't it? Might have to do for now. So, some of you are familiar with this. With the spirit split, was it spirit sound, I think? I made the spirit split in tune with the song. I literally have a spirit split noise for each of the 12 notes on the chromatic scale. And then depending on the chapter, I tell it which chords I want the spirit to be able to play. This ball bounce thing, I want it to do the same thing, but that's like going to take me maybe 30 minutes to go through and pitch correct it to all 12 of those. For now, I think I'm going to leave it like this. And we'll see if it feels like bad, but it should be okay. All right. Let's keep cruising. So that's in. Got that sound effect in. The cancel noise when hitting fog. This is when you lose the spirit. Right now, I think it's the hit sound effect. That feels less violent, which is nice. So Twitch started scrubbing a lot of views that used to be visible, including lurkers. Interesting. So I might have had more than 5 people, is what you're inferring there? Yeah. All progress is kind of lost after closing the demo. So the old demo we used to save it, but ultimately the demo is meant to be experienced in one quick sitting. So that's just the nature of it. But you'll have your progress saved. There's actually a lot I got to do in the overworld to allow people to select like checkpoints within subchapters, not just the subchapter. That's something I'm looking forward to making. Okay. Spirit cancel. So where would that even be? I mean, it's when I'm hitting the smoke object, this one. So maybe I'll just see if I've ever coded a place meeting for that. Oh, it's probably for the spirit cancel parent. Yeah, there it is. Currently what I'm doing, is this in the bounce? This is in the basic. So it's happening there. It's happening there. What the heck? Okay. And it's happening there. So let's see. I just got to find where the audio is playing for this, really. It's been a while since I've looked at this. Oh, spirit hit animation. I think what I did is created an object that just behaves a certain way when you run into the smoke. So perhaps the audio... Yeah, shoot. The audio's not even happening in here. I don't think. Let's go back here. I'm creating that. I'm making... Shucks. It might be... The sound might be happening in the player hit thing. See you, Xenon. I'm not sure, but I thought that once it came back to my old save file to 100% it. It might have been on an old build of the demo. Right, yeah, Jay nailed it. Although I guess that is only a problem if you play the game a lot and not just once like the demo is meant to be played. Yeah, the whole purpose of the demo is to give you a taste for what TetherGeist is capable of and to get you hyped for the full thing. Yeah. All right. So where in the world is this? Player state hit. I gotta find what to do about this, because like it's gonna be making a noise because of this right here. This is where the noise is. So let's just comment that out and just test that real quick. Make sure that that's the only place that's gonna be sending us noise. Oh, and you know what? I almost made a mistake here. I do this all the time. I forgot to move the player back now that I'm not testing this room anymore. Let's move her back. And then we'll come over here. There's where the smoke is. It first appears. I mean, I'm just going to do the same. Oops. Do the same thing over here where grab the player and move it over so testing happens faster. So right now I just want to see if it's going to make no noise when I hit the smoke. That's kind of the idea. You've played 40 hours on the new demo? That is significant, man. Okay, there's your smoke. No sound? Yeah, no sound. So, we got a couple options here. What I'm doing, some logic stuff, is I'm just making the player get hit at the same time when the spirit hits the smoke. So it creates a player hit state. That's where the sound is coming from. So I could create logic to not play the sound if you died by spirit smoke. It's kind of a can of worms. I'm not sure if I want to totally go down that route. So what I'm going to do is just put the sound effect in as is currently and see how it sounds. See if it gets drowned out by the hit noise. If it does, then I'll entertain the idea of muting the hit sound. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still getting hit. So it'll still be important to communicate that. I've been putting all the sound effects at priority 6. How loud is this? It's like, choo. It's pretty quiet compared to the hit sounds. I might need to dial the hit sounds back though. Honestly, they're pretty loud. All right, well, let's just see what they sound like together. I know, I'm sorry. You'll be able to save TetherGeist as soon as it comes out. Part of why we removed it is supporting a save system for the demo comes with all sorts of nuances, and I just can't afford to spend time on a save system strictly for the demo, and my time should be spent on the final thing. Ooh. That sounds really good. Yeah, both of them together actually sounds really good. They're in different frequencies. I think that's why. Like, the hit sound is really loud, but it's a lower frequency, so they complement each other pretty well. Yeah. Let's just add a little bit of pitch adjustment to it so that it doesn't sound identical every time, and then I think we're actually good to go. That's a relief. I was nervous that was going to get out of hand. Here we go. Offset. So here's the pitch correction. Let's do... I actually like it being at least one of 3 predictable sounds so it doesn't get too dissonant, you know? We'll just go like this. 0.9, 1, and 1.1. So it's one of these 3 pitch options. We'll run with that. TAS. Would you guys believe me if I told you I've never dabbled with TAS at all? I have no clue how it works. I'm just making a game for speedrunning. I wouldn't know how to do it myself. Boom. Yeah. I like it. That's done. That's good. We're calling that good. All right. Check that one. Teleporter. Oh. Okay. Yeah. This needs the sound effects. It's been so helpful to have Adrian in here making all these sound effects. I swear I've heard this already. Where have I heard this? It sounds so similar. Where would I have heard it? Maybe I don't know where I've heard it. Anyway, this one should be pretty easy. Because it's a single moment that causes a teleport to happen. So I just got to find where that moment is and then add the audio to it. Spirit bounce moves to the target right here. If global is teleporting. So this runs a single frame. And then I think I have a timer somewhere. Obviously not in here because then I would have multiple teleporter objects trying to count down. But I think I have a timer that like waits 10 frames before it looks for another teleport so it doesn't like dart back and forth. Some of you guys found that bug. If any of you here were at Fanix, you found that bug. That was fun. Anyway, this is where it happens. This is where the audio happens. So hopefully this one's quick. We're going to do that. Priority 6 does not loop. Gain of 1, offset of 0. Pitch correction is going to be one of 3 pitch corrections. Same thing, 0.9, 1, 1.1. How's that feeling? Okay. Let's go find a room to test it in. And we'll want to close down this room that we had. I'm going to actually close all the tabs that I have currently just so it slows down. Teleporters. What's interesting is this order. We have temple ambience, capybaras walking, crabs walking. The rest of it. Oh, let's slap this in there too while we're at it. No. I'm gonna focus on one sound effect at a time. One sound effect at a time. It's so easy for me to just like get drawn into other stuff. I think it sounds like some juice is maybe missing a touch from the sound effect when followed by the responding one. Like it's nice and punchy and very quickly kind of gradients to nothing. Fair. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll kick that feedback over to Adrian. Because at the end of the day, like I've offloaded designing the sound effects to Adrian. And at this point, I'm just trying to put them in, you know. Adrian, by the way, some of you have seen the video. Adrian is our sound effect designer. He signed on with us for like a small revenue share. Dude's amazing. He did sound design for a lot of Pixar movies like Coco and Toy Story 4 and a bunch of other ones. So it was pretty serendipitous that we ran into him at a convention. Noah and Ray ran into him at a convention, and he was like really excited about our project and wanted to work with us. And we happened to go to the same college, so we just have like a lot of random things in common. He had a band at the same time I did in Provo, and his band beat mine in a battle of the bands at one time. I can't remember how long ago that was. It was a long time ago. Anyway, here's the teleporter audio. What I was doing was coming over here, and I was going to test it in one of these rooms. So let's move up to this one. I think it needs very little, to be fair. Maybe just some sort of pop that can release into the respawn sound effect so the transition is smoother. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. That makes sense. My GML is also surface level, but I don't make the tools right now. It will be harder for the community. I've dabbled in the idea of like, once this game has been out for a really long time, and we're not too worried about, I don't know, pirating and stuff. I've considered releasing the actual Game Maker file to the public for modding, but I think that opens itself to a lot of security concerns. I might develop some modding tools if there's enough demand. I don't know. It all boils down to if there's enough demand. All right, let's listen to these teleporters. See how they sound. It feels just a little loud, balance-wise, compared to everything else that's happening. I think I'm just going to turn it down. I might also add a fourth pitch correction. Wait a minute. Is that... what the... It's the same sound? Is that... wait a minute. Is that why I recognized it? Hold on. Oh, they're just super similar. Okay. That's the same sound, right? That's the same sound. Right? I'm not crazy. Sound feels a little delayed. Yeah. Here, watch this. So, I think the delay is probably good for the Switch one, but not good for the teleporter, because the teleporter happens instantaneous. It's the self-same frame, right? So, let's go make just some slight tweaks, stuff that I can do. This guy right here. Yeah, so this is the delay you're feeling right here, right? It's not terrible. It's like a small chunk. Anyway, we'll remove it. And then let's dial the decibels down a little. Let's go down by like 5 maybe. See how that feels. Let's reload that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The teleporter felt delayed. The Switch sounded good. Yeah. I think they were the same sound effect. One of the things that we do with Adrian a lot is we'll do like listening sessions with him where he'll present the stuff that he's worked on. And so I'm sure he presented that to us like a few weeks ago. And we were like, yeah, same sound effects, same machinery. Like there's no way he's trying to pull fast one or anything. So this will be a little more instantaneous. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. It's got a bit of a pop. Do I need that pop? Oh, what the heck? Dude, right? Routing this is going to be cool. Can you hear the platform down there? It's kind of fun. Ding, 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 ding. Oh. All right. I think I'm gonna call that good for now. I mean, I could. You know what else I could do? Actually, let's make it just a little tighter, even. That'll be just a bit tighter. That gives it. So here's what I'm thinking. I gotta be cautious. This is Adrian's art. I don't need to sit here and edit Adrian's art. So I try to make my edits really minimal. But if I delete just a chunk, now the sound effect happens instantaneous, right? Like instead of fading in like this would sound, that fades in a little. That has more punch to it, you know? That makes it feel less delayed. Snappier. Although, did I bump the gain up on accident? Let's see this. So this gain sitting at -15. What's the switch on sitting at? Yeah, it's lower. Whoops, I think I accidentally moved the gain up again. Because if I go down by 5, yeah, I think I did. Anyway, that feels a little punchier. Seems like it would make it feel better. Yeah. Let's run with that. Let's see how that goes. Reload that. And then we'll move on. I'm on baby duty tonight. I have the baby monitor set aside here. So if he happens to wake up and starts crying, the stream might get cut short. But lately he's been sleeping for a good like 3 to 4 hours. Beginning of the night. Alright. Well, it feels a little quiet. What have I done? It's too quiet now. Did you see that? Jay, did you see that? Maybe you weren't. No, you were probably busy modding. I did a crystal nectar boost. You'd be proud of me. Ooh, I should show you something. Why is that making that noise? Doom. I know why. Whoops. That's why it's so loud. I'm creating... Dang it. So, spirit, hit, anim. I'm using the same object when you hit the switches as when you hit the smoke. So, what I really need to do is just tell it not to play this sound if I hit a switch. I'm just going to do a Boolean, is hit. And if is hit is true, it'll make the sound. If his hit is not true, then it won't make the sound. And I think that... Bounce toggle. Oh, bounce toggle. Where am I creating the object? Right here. Yeah. So I just need to tell it it's don't make the sound. So if I create the hit animation now, because I'm doing it here in the toggle location, I'm just going to say is hit equals false. So now, hold on, where are we at? Spirit hit anim, this object that's playing that noise in the first place. Only play it if it's a hit version of it. A little counterintuitive that spirit hit anim might ever not be a is hit, but I'm just repurposing the object to create the same animation when you hit a toggle. Do more speedrun tag. I wonder how fast you can do these levels. I bet I can do them faster than most people at this point in time because you haven't had a chance to test them. Although you might have, Jay's on our playtesting list. You might have an email sitting in your inbox with access to some of this stuff. Slash, you know how to get to this stuff anyway. What was I testing? Oh, the noises. I also want that to be a little louder. Now it's too quiet. So while I'm thinking about it, come this way. Let's just bump it up by, I pulled it down by 5 decibels. Let's pull it up by like 1.2. Yeah, I think that's all it needed. And then I wanted to test the toggle noises. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Yeah, this guy down here was making the wrong noise. It's still making the wrong noise. What? It doesn't need to be making that boom noise. Okay, hang on. What's the issue here? Bounce toggle logic. Is hit equals false. If is hit, play the noise. Otherwise, don't. Right? I recently signed on with a few tutorial videos with GameMaker that I'll be making to put on their channels. And they have best practices for how to write your code. And they would not like what I do all the time. Because like if I can fit it on one line, I do. But if I know I can't, then I don't. It's terrible. Most people say that it should just always be that way, right? Break it out into multiple lines. But I do what I want, I guess. Is hit equals true. If is hit. This might be an order of operations thing where I can't remember when I do a with statement when that variable is actually assigned. I assume that's before the create event. Let me just make sure that's, I mean, that's got to be where the sound is coming from, right? I just want to confirm. Yeah, you would need to check, sure, yeah. So it should make no noise now. Yeah, that's what I want it to sound like. I just want the sound to not play if it's coming from this thing. I know an alternative option, and I'm gonna do it because I don't want to sit here and mess with this. So the alternative option is to just create a child object. That way I know the variable will always be set correctly. So I'm going to create a child object. Let's create an object. Oh, spirit toggle anim. And I guess the benefit to this is like, if we did ever want to change the animation to be different for toggle than it is for hit, like we will have that availability. So it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. Spirit hit anim. Okay. And then this one will just always be turned off, right? And so when we come over here, now we'll use toggle anim. So now we know that it's just going to create a different object entirely, and it's one that doesn't make the noise. Okay, let's try that. I think I kind of liked it more with the extra sound. Yeah, maybe. I feel like it set the switch and teleporter apart from one another. True. I'm nervous about associating damage with the tile, right? It has a negative connotation. The sound has a negative sound associated with it. And I don't want to accidentally like make players even subconsciously think that it was somehow a negative thing that they hit the toggle. I think if we really wanted to differentiate it, we'd go over to Adrian and just be like, hey, can we get this to sound different? Because it still needs to have a kind of positive sound to it, you know? Yeah, that feels... Well, and there's the zoom when it turns off, too. That's the other thing to consider. Yeah. This is feeling cool. It's really satisfying when it bounced off a wall. Ding dong. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That sounds done. We're done. We're moving on. Where is that? There we go. That was the teleporter. Temple ambience. Nice. So I built an ambience controller earlier this week. So it fades in and out depending on the levels. This will play, I think, throughout all of Chapter 4. Each chapter has 3 sub-chapters, 2 gameplay chapters, and 1 like hub chapter. Except for Chapter 6. 6 doesn't have that, really. Nor does 7. Anyway, the ones leading up to that do. So like Edentown, for example, has 2 chunks of gameplay and then Edentown proper. And so we had different sounds for Edentown proper. But for the Chapter 4 temple, I think we decided to just have it all be the same ambience, which makes a lot of sense because it's like these abandoned ruins. There's nothing a whole lot different between the hub and the levels themselves. So yeah, we've got, here, I'll pull it up. Here's what the hub's going to look like. Maybe some abandoned merchant shops. Maybe some merchants will be hanging out. A few people knowing that the binding is happening and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, there's that one. And then, it's remarkably similar to the biome and ambience that we see in our gameplay. So, I already pulled this sound effect in. What does it sound like? That's right. It's kind of airy. Yeah. Okay. Adrian is so good at soundscapes. Holy cow. That's something I would never have been able to do. Just get these soundscapes right. All right. So, I think really all we have to do is throw this in the ambient controller. And this one should be a quick implementation. So here's the ambience controller. In case Adrian comes back and watches this, because I know he might be interested. What I'm doing with this object here, I'll get a little technical. This is a persistent object that's always in the game once it's created. It's just like the music controller. And what it does is looks for a room change. So I'm storing in the variable current room. That's the room that you are currently in. If that's ever different from the actual room you're in that the game has tracked, then it will reset it, right? Now current room is the room you're in. And that's when it triggers all this stuff too. So anytime a room starts, this logic triggers, and then it jumps into the switch statement where it says like, okay, which room are you in? And depending on which room you're in, it will start playing this sound. If there is no room stated here in the switch statement, it will just continue on with the ambience that it had previously. So sometimes what I've done historically is just like, if there's a set of 10 rooms that I know will always be a string with one another, I'll just throw it in just the first room, knowing that the rest of them will just continue with the same ambience. I don't love doing that because sometimes I jump around in rooms, or, in earnest, people are going to be able to jump into checkpoints in rooms. So I'm going to have to come through and audit this to make sure every room is accounted for. Which isn't a huge pain in the butt. Honestly, it's not a big deal. It's just something I got to be cognizant of. So, Chapter 4, here we are. In fact, I'll do this right now. So if you're anywhere in Chapter 4, we're going to be playing that soundscape. And there's probably a better way to do this, like maybe grouping rooms with tags or something. I don't know. I'm kind of scrappy with this. 5, 6, 7. I don't remember how many rooms I even built in part 2. Did I only do 9 rooms? Oh, and then I also have, we've got the cinematic rooms and stuff. Yeah, it probably is illegal, but whatever. It's a switch statement. It's no processing power whatsoever to use case statements like this. Won't I think of the modders? I actually never think of the modders ever. It's just not even on my mind. I'm kidding. Mural meeting. Shucks, this is a part 2, isn't it? Okay. So there's all of the part 2 stuff. Yeah, this is clean. This code's pretty darn clean. The alternative would be to go like see if GameMaker tracks folders, I guess, and then apply it to a specific folder. Now that I'm saying it that way, it does make me wonder. Get room folder in GameMaker. Hold on. Groups within the asset browser. Can I do it within manage groups? It might only be an asset browser thing. Is there a group set of functions? Let's see. Group. There's audio group. Is there like asset group? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could always. I'm not going to do it. I could add metadata to each one of these rooms creation code, and then maybe that metadata is what I reference in this. That's going to be way more work than it needs to be because I can just throw all the rooms in here. I mean, it's just ambience. Okay. So let's jump in, make sure that part 3 has everything. There's probably other ways to do it with like for loops or something. I don't mind. I don't mind having the whole set of rooms just laid out here, because it takes like I said, no processing power really. I only did 8 rooms. Interesting. When I make rooms, I'm not concerned about the number of rooms as much as I'm concerned about the length of playtime and the number of obstacles within the room. So generally, if a chapter has like more rooms, it's because I have less obstacles per room. These are just longer rooms, ultimately, is what that means. Okay, and we got 3 goes, and then I gotta get the cinematic rooms as well. This is room 5, pain attack room. This is room 8, the summit. Okay. That's all of them. Asset tags could be a solution. Yeah. Like treating the room, like yeah. I just feel like that's a long, arduous process right now. Thanks. Hopefully the switch is okay. All right. Oh, the sound effect group didn't load yet. There it is. There's the ambience. That's been pretty good. The ambience needs to set the tone. Maybe not be consciously noticed all the time. I think we're getting it. I like it. I like how it feels with everything else. I'm going to call that done. Yeah, especially if there's music. Yeah. That one's a challenge too, because I haven't written chapter 4 music yet. That's still on the docket. So we'll see how that works. But Cappy Walk. So one of the things Adrian did, let's check this, is he tried to time things with frame rates. This one might just be meant to loop with the capybara. It feels kind of loud, but I'm going to be using proximity logic for this one, so it'll make it quieter the further you are away from it. Which means it never... Like, it rarely will play at full gain unless you're, like, right next to the thing. TP up, then fall through. I'm going to leave that conversation up to you. There's, as I designed a lot of these levels, I had moments where I was like, ooh, if somebody was being real cheeky, they could like sneak a spirit through right here, but it's going to be really challenging. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to leave it there. I want speedrunners to have that opportunity to really cheese this stuff. All right. Capybaras. So we got these rhino cappies. They walk around, they lay down, they do all sorts of stuff. So we have some sound effects for them. We have them walking. Well, that's all we have. We just have walking when they're moving around. Great. So that really only happens... Where are they? Walking. This is kind of loopy logic, right? Like, loop. We'll want loop by proximity if they're walking. Okay. That should be doable. So it's also something that I built last week. I built a script. Play sound. Wait, sound. Was it sound by proximity? So I created a few scripts to play sound based on how close you are to the object. I like this one the best. Play sound by point distance. This is for single sounds. It just grabs the point distance between the player and the object, and then you define the distance from which you want to be able to hear it in pixels. So if you're like, I could say 80 pixels away, that's when you can, what is that, 80 divided by point distance? I don't remember what it means. Anyway, you can sort through the logic here. It's late, I don't want to go through it, but it's basically saying the closer you are, the louder it'll be, and the bigger the distance is, the easier it'll be to hear. Yeah, anyway. And it all operates if it's in the camera view specifically. Anyway, I'm not using that one. I'm using the loop sound by proximity function. This one just checks to see how close you are, and then it adjusts the gain based on how close you are. And if the audio is not playing, it'll turn it on. But then if you're outside of the range, it'll turn the audio off. So it like fades in and out based on how close you are to it. Anyway, we're using this one. We're using loop by proximity. I can close that ambience object. I had the cappy. Where is he? There he is. When he's walking, if it's the sprite walk, decide if it's going to turn around. It decides if it turns around every 50 to 100 frames while it's walking, or it decides to sit down based on the walk timer. It will eventually just sit down, even if it doesn't turn around. And then here's where it's actually walking. Yeah, so here's where we're going to loop the sound, is just where the walking logic is actually happening. I don't remember the exact file name. We got that. Proximity. I feel like 80 pixels felt good like a while back. I don't remember. Require Y true. That means that, so I did that for waterfalls where the y-axis isn't as important because the waterfall spans the entirety, like top to bottom. This one, like if you're really far away from the cappy in the y direction, you won't be able to hear it super well. Object listening is going to be the player, not the camera. Okay. I don't know how that's going to sound. And the tricky thing with these capybaras is they don't like to walk very much. Like I made them lazy on purpose. Which means I might have to sit there and wait for them to walk for a long time. This happens in the animation end. So every 60 to 120 frames. So it's like every 1 to 2 seconds it decides if it's going to do something, I think. Decide if it wants to stand up or lay down. Oh no, that's every 2 seconds to 6 seconds. Well, I like the way they operate right now. I'm not going to mess with them too much. All right. Just skip the TP speedrunner chow. It's worth making them faster for testing purposes. Exactly, it is. I just don't want to like fiddle with the wrong stuff. Let's just do it. Let's make them like really fast. Well, no, because there's the other thing. I've got ranges that depend on other ranges. So I'm just going to leave them. We'll see how it feels. Chapter 4, part 3. We only have set dressed some of these for trailers. A lot of them are still wireframes. So I just got to find one where I know there's a cappy. Ah, they're right there. So let's run with this one. Oops. We got God Raisin player. All right. All right. See you, Nico. Sleep well. Night pistachios. Okay. Go ahead, stand up. You can do it. Okay? Now walk. Oh. I could change that. I can make it so it just always walks. Oh. Yeah? Walk. 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 Come on, bud. You can do it. I think we nailed it. Oh, I got to turn it off. But I think the sound, the balance is great. I'm happy with the balance. So if it's not walking, so as long as it's not in here, and it goes straight to sitting, it's not going to go straight to laying. So I can just throw it in here. Yeah, they do feel faster. You're not wrong. It's true. It's true. Okay. Yeah, we got the audio balance right. The speed is a little off. One option. There might be something we can do here really quick. He moves at 4 frames. Oh, there's back legs hiding there too, you know. I'm gonna call it good enough. I agree that it's a little disjointed. Totally agree. But it's just so minute. Like most players are just gonna like run straight past the cappies, and any player that stops to like look at them and wait for them to walk, I think will be delighted just to find that they make any sounds at all. So I think I'm gonna call that one good. We can bring it back to Adrian if we want to try to get the timing right. But that just feels less critical than getting all the gameplay in and making sure the sound effects are balanced right and everything else. Okay, crab walk fast. These crabs are okay. These guys are fun. Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of background noise and stuff as well. True. Very true. Yeah. Everything else is muted right now. The ambience even was muted just because I'm loading the rooms immediately rather than going through like a load menu where it waits for the sound effects to load. So there's that as well. You know, I might, as long as that Steam review is still recommend, I'm okay with that. All right. Let's get these crabs going. So the crabs are fun. Ding dong, ding dong. Here's their walking. That's it. That's all they do. Did I check that over here, the capybara thing? Yeah, I did. So we have a walk fast and a walk slow. Uh-oh. I don't think they have variable walk speeds right now. 0 out of 10 games, capybara's walking sound is not completely accurate. You say that jokingly, but like, can I show you guys something super funny? A little off topic, but we got a really funny review the other day. This is our first negative review. Maybe it's on the demo page. Wait, how do I get to the demo page? I don't even remember. Anyway, the negative review had nothing to do with the game and everything to do with the poor guy not knowing how to connect his controller to his computer. He was like, it doesn't support keyboard, it doesn't support controller, I can't play this game. And I just felt bad for him. 'Cause I'm like, this game is actually great on keyboard. And I created logic to listen for all controller inputs. So somehow it just wasn't plugged in. You found the review? Yeah. It's a real bummer to get a negative review because somebody doesn't know how to plug in their own equipment, but oh well. That's the way. Doesn't it also say no keyboard support? Oh, there it is. Yeah, no mouse and keyboards right up here. Yeah. I play this on a Nintendo Switch controller. A lot. That was what I used to do until I got an Xbox controller. I also play it on an 8BitDo PlayStation type controller. So I'm genuinely baffled. Yeah. All right. Anyway, you found the review. I don't need to waste any more time chasing down. So here's the thing. He gave me a fast and he gave me a slow. And the crab, I think, only moves at one speed. And maybe the fast and slow is just so that I can choose which one. Yeah, so I can choose which one based on the animation speed. So let's look at it. So here's the fast one. Dude, this is getting unwieldy. I'm going to start a new workspace because this is ridiculous. Here's the fast one. Here's the walk animation. Okay. It feels too slow. That feels too slow, and that's the fast one. Well, I think the decision's made then. We're going to at least use the fastest one. Here's the crab. He is a child of the rock critter. They behave the same. They stay hidden until you get close, and then they kind of get spooked and move around. So, yeah, the fast one was still too slow. Yeah. I thought I would have made my life easier by making this a child object, but it's becoming more and more bespokely different from the rock critter. You know what I could do, though? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna assign the slow into the rock critter. So let's do that. There's that one. And now the child object will have this variable available to us as well. And you're going to be the fast version. Okay. And then where? There's one right there. Let's get you up and running. Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle. So I don't think the rock one has any sound effects associated with it. He's such a subtle little guy. Wait a minute. I skipped so much logic. This is stupid. What did I do? All I did was assign variables. I didn't actually put it in code. It's almost midnight. I've had a full day. So if it's walking, it'll wake up. And then here it's actually walking. Okay. So this is where I'm looping the sound effect. I should loop by proximity as well. Here's the sound. Oh, no, the sound is the walk sound effect variable. Proximity, I liked 80 a lot with the capybara. Do require Y, yes. And then the object listing is the player. Okay. There it is. Now, only do stuff if it is staying in range. Man, I built this thing a long time ago. I didn't comment it as well. Here's where it sits back down. Okay. So here's where I'll turn off the looping. If the walk sound effect is playing, stop playing it. Okay. Okay. That should do it. I'm going to test it. It's 2 a.m. for me. It's doing work and chilling. Holy moly. 2 a.m. Ugh. I've had a few nights that late. When my son was first born, I was working on TetherGeist until anywhere from 2 to 4 in the morning every night because I was just taking the night shift with him. It's still playing the sound. That's annoying. Yeah, that's annoying. I'm not going to worry about proximity as much, I think. Let me make sure that's actually coming through to the child object. 'Cause I'm coding all that in the rock critter object. And I just want to make sure I didn't override it in the step. Yeah, no, it's still here. Loop by proximity. And I only have this running once. So maybe if I just slap that down here, just so that it will just always check to see if it's playing in the else statement. I'll give that a go. And then I might make its proximity smaller. Yeah. Close. Close. It just needs to stop playing if he's not walking. Okay, let's dial the proximity down. Let's go like really tight because it's supposed to be a small thing. So maybe 16 pixels is where you're going to hear it at max. It's probably too quiet. Let's do 32. And then it stops playing the sound at the wrong time. I put it in the right spot. How has using GameMaker for console ports been for y'all? We haven't crossed that bridge yet. That being said, we've done a lot of scoping. So GameMaker has the ability, right, to port to a bunch of different consoles. You have to buy the enterprise license. It's like $800 or something per year. And then it's supposed to be really easy. We haven't done it yet, but everybody we've talked to says, oh, it should be easy. So that includes our contact, Jonathan from Fields of Mystria. He's like, yeah, no, your game should just work. He got it working on his dev kit within like an hour, maybe 2 hours. So it should be easy. Now that said, there's like all these considerations to, Jonathan's, he's awesome. That said, there's a lot of considerations to like make sure that it actually qualifies for the Nintendo eShop. So yes, it was working on his dev kit Switch, but no, it wasn't optimized. Like he found a few performance concerns that we'd have to work through. The way that the Nintendo's like CPU operates in different resolutions and things is something to take into consideration. So there's like a ton of stuff related to making sure your game is ready to be ported. But as far as compiling the code goes, it's extremely easy. So GameMaker's been really good in that regard. What we are doing is finding a porting studio. So we're in the middle of looking for one. And we've got a few really exciting prospects. We're really excited. One in particular, but I'm not going to say anything publicly until we actually have made a decision. But it seems likely we found our solution to port to Switch, which will be really nice. They seem incredible. So, now I'm trying to get this thing to stop making noise when it goes to sit down. This is where that should be happening. Why is it not happening? Right, so if I come in here, put that there. I've now created redundant code, but I'm just testing this. It should stop playing the walk sound effect as soon as it starts burrowing, because that's the sit sprite. But it doesn't. Let me make sure. That's weird. This is the sprite. This is when he burrows down. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm saying if the sprite is the sit sprite, which it is, it should stop playing the sound. If the sound is playing at all. That's what I'm doing. But it still continues playing. So I have a hunch that this line of code is running, but somewhere else, could be in here, is overwriting that, and it just continues to play. It shouldn't though, because this only runs if it's this walk sprite. It's midnight. I set a goal. I'm gonna follow through with it. I want to get all of these sound effects, and I've only got 3 left, and this last one will be super easy. If audio is playing, stop sound. This works here. This is not working here. Also, while I'm at it, the proximity, 32 still felt a little too loud to me, so I'm gonna dial that down to 16. The reason I'm doing that, by the way, is everything in our game operates on like an 8x8 grid. So like the damage vines are 16x16, the ground tiles are 32x32. I just kind of want to follow similar conventions. I do feel a little stumped though, like why this isn't working. So maybe I'll just find a different way to do it. I should also probably check the loop sound solution. This will turn the audio on, but it only does it if you're in the space. So this will always run. This will always loop it if these other things are happening. Gosh, so why would that? Why did that do that? Here's the other thing that's weird, actually. So it keeps playing the sound until it's completely asleep. You know what I could do? I know what I could do. I'll just come over here. Rather than operating within all this messy... Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Rather than operating in all this messy code that's looking for like when sprites animate where, I should just come over here. Or better yet, you know what I'll do? I'm just going to create a totally different set of logic. If sprite, I know it's redundant, but this will just make it so it only occurs when it's supposed to, right? I just keep it clean right here. I'm gonna loop the sound if it's the walk sprite. Otherwise, I just won't. That's it. So this is just me handling sound. That way I don't have to mess around with all the other potential if-else logic that could have influenced it in a negative way that's all built around like the animations. Yeah. Let's try that. And while we're at it, I should make sure the rock critter actually sounds good. Otherwise, I might have to make him walk silently, like he's done historically. Here we go. We'll just have to remember to remove him. Okay, here we go. I don't know, maybe the rock critter migrated from Mage Mountain area all the way here. I've only got a few pistachios left. Oh dear. 16 is way too quiet. Okay, it's working. Now it's just too quiet. So. No. Is the rock critter an invasive species? No, it's not. Oh, in chapter 4, yes. It is invading. It shouldn't be in that biome. I thought 32 was too loud, but I'm second guessing myself because 16 was way too quiet. Let's try 32 and see how it feels. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Pitch it down and have it lower. The problem is, there's just more stuff I gotta build into the loop by proximity logic. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I think 32 pixels is about right. Because it gets quieter as it gets away from you, you know? That's good. That's good. I like that a lot. Let's run with that for now. I'll play with the rock critter sounds if it comes up, but they're so minute. Puffer plant's big, puffer plant small. So this one should be pretty easy. The puffer plants have a single moment that they poof these spores out. Oh, I'm moving on without deleting the rock. Okay, rock's not there anymore. No more invasive species. We're good. This is the puffer plant here. When you get close to it, it like poofs out some spores. So I think it's just called chapter 4 puffer. Yeah. And then it has children. So perfect. It creates, I think I just created, I don't even think it's a particle object because it's just so small. I just threw it in. I think it's, yeah, it's this thing. So all I got to do, I was just there, animation end. When it puffs, this is when it'll play the audio. And this one, let's see what it sounds like. Let's see what the sound effect sounds like. Here's the big ones. Oh. So okay, I gotta back up then. It bubbles and then makes the spore sound, so it's right when the animation starts. So that's when I switch to the sprite puff, right here. So it needs to happen here. Okay. This is going to be a variable. I'm going to make this the puff sound effect because I have different puffer sizes, so that needs to be dynamic because he gave me 2 different ones. Does not loop. And I'm not going to worry about proximity noises or anything. Like, half the time people blow past these super fast and you would hear it anyway. It's not like the crabs where you would have to intentionally stop and like look at it. So anyway, I think I'm just going to have it play the sound when it happens. Puff SFX. This is where I will assign the noise. This is the big one. The second one is pretty small. I think these ones are both pretty small. So I'm going to give these ones the smaller sound. And this volume is probably a little too loud. I feel like it's too loud. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's throw a bunch of these guys in real quick. Can you use the... Okay, yeah, no new comments since I last glanced over. It's a small group today. Is this one that small? I mean... Oh, I have them there. There's okay. The medium-sized one, I'm not sure which sound effect that should have. If it should have the big one or the small one. If we were being really strict, we'd have a medium sound, but I just don't think it's that critical to have that degree of granularity for these things. Especially if the animation is like a similar frame length. Oh, it matches. It's too loud. That's the Here's the big one. It works so hard for this pitiful little I should throw some pitch correction in. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound really good. Adrian's doing good. I could just do a pitch correction specific to that one. All right. I'm just going to throw some randomized pitch correction in general in and also make it a little quieter and call it good. Let's jump over to Adobe Audition. Oops, where is it? Right here. Open. We want this to just be a little quieter, not crazy quieter. Oh, geez. It's actually pretty low already. It just feels too loud. Doesn't it? Am I just wrong? Yeah. Yeah. Let's just move it down by 3. I don't even know if I felt that. I went down by 4 there. Let's do that. Let's go open the other one. Yeah, we'll just go down by 4 decibels and call that good. Here's the small one. Down by 4. Yep. And then in Game Maker, let's just give it a little bit of pitch correction. And this one I don't think should be terribly different. Like I'm thinking 0.95, 1, and 1.05. So it only varies by 0.05 in either direction. It'll be one of those three. I have a hunch very few people are going to want to rewatch this stream. We'll see. I'll leave it on YouTube for a little bit. I can't actually feel the pitch correction that much. This feels a little too small. I'll move it by 0.1. Yeah, it sounds good. We're getting close. I think that we only have one more sound effect to put in tonight. There we go. I can feel that pitch difference now. I like it. All right. Nice job on that one, Adrian. I like that one a lot. All right. Chapter 4. This one's easy. Chapter 4. Wait a minute. You're telling me to do the chapter 1 nectar? Really? It's the same noise? That makes sense. They're both flowers. They're both petally. Okay. That's what it sounds like. So ultimately, I think we just leave it alone. We just slap this in as the target sound effect now. Oh, it's currently like that. Why is it sounding... Wait, what? Oh, I know why. I know why. The parent object, I put... Anyway, this is me thinking aloud. Each one of the Azay, right? Chapter 1, Chapter 2, all these things, we call them Azay, the collectibles, is a child of Chapter 1 Azay. However, the step event is overridden in all of them to make sure that the collection logic is unique to each Azay. That's also where I'm throwing the sound effect in. So in other words, unless told otherwise, all the children Azay don't listen to the target sound effects unless I go in and fix that. So that's on line 26. Jeepers. What the heck? Am I still hard coding the add Azay logic? I think I am. I'm gonna mess with that later. But for now, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Yeah, I think I never updated it with the script. I built the script that basically is this. I just never updated chapter 4 with it. I don't. It might come back to bite me later, but sorry. Okay, let's listen to it. There it is. All the sounds are in. Explain, please. I want to add new as dude. Adding Isaiah is terrifying. Okay. the Yeah, thank you. I think the wall. I like the wall sound bouncing too. Ding dong ding 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 ding. Here's the thing, Jay, about figuring out the Isaiah. I'm not opposed to modders playing with that. However, it is a messy, messy system. The UI I built a long time ago. If I could do it all over again, I would do it very differently. So the UI in and of itself is going to be a challenge. Yeah. The way the like array structure works is pretty intuitive. All that works okay, but the UI is a disaster. It works. It works wonderfully, but it very much is like a pigeon spinning its head so fast it turns into a helicopter and flies rather than using wings, you know? I think we're pretty close to done for tonight. So I want to go to, there's a room I have that's set dressed. Noah did an incredible job set dressing this room over here. I just can't remember which one it was. Here it is. Room 6. Part 3. This is where we'll bring in all the sound effects, I think. We got the bubbly guys. I don't think we have cappies, but that's okay. We got the dink dink dinks. There's a cappy there. So I'm just going to play through this whole room to see how all the sound effects are feeling together. And then, yeah. I don't think I'm going to place any red Atropas tonight. It's already almost 12:30, so. Yeah. Those little bubbly guys are great. They're not too loud, but you can definitely notice them. I think we got it. Yeah. No, these sounds are coming together nice. A lot of good variety. I think the only thing I'm a little bummed out about is that the blues don't sound any different from the yellows. That's my only thing. But even then, I can't complain that much. Oof. Yeah, now I'm here for it. I think this is good. Shift the tone? Yeah, at least make them sound different. I know better than that. I'm not actually struggling with this room, by the way, guys. I made this game. I'm not bad at it, I promise. Seriously, watch. Here, I'll beat it first try. Now that I'm actually trying. Oh, I died. Okay, I'll beat it first try now. No, this is first try. Okay, now I'll beat it first try. I know my problem. And I'm going to be stubborn about it. There, now I beat it first try. I'd be surprised if you thought of a skip. This room had some skips. I did a lot of tweaking to it. So if you find a skip, sweet. These sound effects bring me joy. Don't worry, you'll be able to try this soon. Next year, we're going to release the whole game. I just want you to walk. Oh. Thank you. I will pass that on to Noah and Ray. It does look really pretty. I agree. They're masters. Noah and Ray are masters at pixel art. I really like Okay, that's fine. I like the approach they've taken to not do outlines. It gives it a very unique aesthetic that a lot of pixel art doesn't totally use, so we're hoping that helps us kind of stand out a little bit. Something weird going on with that god right there, though. Anyway. Cool. It's a little loud when you're right next to it, but I don't mind it. I think it's fine. It sounds like balloons deflating. Alright. Done. For now. We could do a different tone on that. I could either coat, I could either coat it or I could... No, let's do it. You know what? Let's do it. I like unclear distinctions between backgrounds, and this is the game item. Makes it feel much more immersive. Totally, yeah. Yep, I agree 100%. I'm going to pitch shift, by the way, this is one last thing I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to pitch shift the chapter 1 nectar to be unique for the blue one. Like, it'll sound pretty close to the same, but I want the base audio file to be a different pitch. So that way when I bring it into GameMaker and then give it 3 different pitches it can choose from, it will, at just a foundational level, be a different pitch already. The blue ones, here's the thing. The blue ones, I want them to be a lower pitch because I feel like lower indicates more technicality from like a psychological standpoint. However, if you look at their sprites, the yellow one is just a meatier flower. It has more meat to it. So technically, this one should probably be the lower pitch, than the blue one. I think I'm overthinking it at this point, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save a chapter 4 nectar. Adrian has an identification system that I am not using here, so I'm just gonna leave the ID at 0s for now. I think the blue one just feels lower pitchy to me. Dude, yeah, no, that's another thought. Blue feels lower pitch because of color theory. Yellow is brighter. I'm gonna make it lower. I can't remember where it is in here. Time and pitch. Pitch shifter, here it is. That's 7 semitones lower. So I want it to be noticeable. I want it to feel very different from the yellow one. I'm going to leave it at, I actually, right where it was, I think -7, going down 7 semitones, I think is the way to do it. Let's run with that. Where did I even save this thing? I was not thinking that through. I saved it. I saved it in GameMaker's folder structure. That's dumb. That's not where it belongs. Chapter 4. No, I want chapter, what is it? Chapter 1 nectar, I think is the term we're using. Yeah. Yeah, I saved it right here. That's not where it belongs. We'll just pull it out for now, and then when we bring it into GameMaker, it should automatically create the folders and stuff that are associated with it. Oops. I don't think I changed that sound effect though. Hold on. Oop. Yeah, still sounds the same. Okay, let's throw this in the chapter 4 sound effects. Boop. I like it. It just feels better. I don't know. We'll throw it in right here. And let's hear it. Let's hear it in tandem with the yellow and the blue. Yeah, I'm glad you like it too. All right. It's not terribly different either. Which is probably good, because that means we kind of remain true to the vision. Yeah. Honestly, being at a lower frequency makes it easier to get lost in the mix. We might have to bump the gain up a little. Doesn't cut through as readily. You see what I mean? Like, you can hear the yellow. The blue is a little harder to hear. I love how passionate you are about routing. I guess if you... How would you do that? Like, would you try to, like, hit that gap, maybe? That's disgusting. There's no way, right? There's no way that's possible. Ugh. Oh! It's totally possible! Did you see that? Hold on. How did I... Oh, gosh. Is that what you were thinking? That's gross. That is truly awful. That's gonna kill so many speedruns. Like, people are gonna have to make a decision. Do I go for that, or do I just play the room as it should be? That's so tight. I can't... I gotta get it one more time. Oh! Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's really brutal. That's a tough speedrun. Oh! That was almost it. I can't believe I got it like 5th try. Where did I do it from? Like lower? That's nasty. I don't know. That'll save what? How much time will that save? Like maybe 2 seconds? I like doing the more inconsistent routes if they look cool. While I'm here, I'm going to provide 4 pixels of kindness, okay? That's it. 4 pixels of kindness. I don't want anybody getting any ideas that I'm just gonna do this all the time. There's 2 there. There's 2 there. 4 pixels, okay? That's a little less precise. That's it. That's it. I got distracted by that. I'm going to play through one more. Oh, no. I remember what I was going to do. I was going to bump. Because this lower frequency gets lost in the mix. I'm going to make it a little louder. Just so that it doesn't get lost in the mix. And then I want to see how that sounds. So easy now. 4 pixels. Do you think that's going to make a difference? There were a couple times that I thought I should have had it and I didn't. So maybe those moments would have gone through. Basically free. All right. Let's listen to the Blue Flowers. They still feel a little lost in the mix to me. But too much bass. I'm gonna have to play with like EQ and stuff. It's still... It's so much quieter in the game than it is out here. I think the game is set to half volume right now. So I think I am going to bump the gain up just a little bit more. So it doesn't get lost. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe make the yellow ones higher pitch and have the blue ones to closer to what it used to be. That's a good idea. I'm going to listen to this gain right now. And if it's still lost in the mix, then yeah, I'm going to shift it up a little. Yeah, it's still lost in the mix. I'm going to do that. That's a great suggestion. What I think I want to do is meet somewhere in between. Hopefully that's okay. We went down 7 semitones, right? So if we come back up, maybe let's do like -3. Wait, oh, sorry. Go up 3. Doi. So there's that one. And then the chapter 1 sounds like... Did I even open it? Oh, I did. I just didn't save. I did a save as. So I should be able to just grab it right here. So that's that one. I think I've messed it up. Messing with the pitch too much. I'm going to start over. Let's trash it. Let's come over here. We'll shift this up a little bit. We'll shift this up by like 1 semitone. Maybe 2. Let's go 2 semitones. Hopefully Adrian isn't like watching this just cringing at all the stuff I'm doing. Yeah, I don't want to mess the source file up too much though. Guys, it's 12:37. I gotta just pick something and move on. I want to keep the original sound just to make sure I don't accidentally distort the sound too much from the original. And then I'm gonna just not pitch shift down as far. This needs to go away. This is not where it belongs. Delete that. And then let's come over here. And slap this in here for now. Apparently I did not delete it. I think I just removed it from the queue in here. That's all I did. And this one's just going to go down. We're still going to bump the decibels up by like maybe 5 so that we can help it not get lost in the mix. And then we're going to pitch it down. Instead of 7, let's just go down like 5, like we were going to do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I just realized I might have been editing the wrong file, and that's why it was always lost in the mix. I think that's what was happening. Oh, yeah. That's why it was lost in the mix. Guys, it's late. Okay. Yeah, I was editing. Oh my gosh. I was editing the file in my assets folder on the desktop, not in the... Okay, so this is way too loud. I don't even know how many decibels I went up. So this is the original, right? This is the original. That's the original sound. Now I'm going to shift it down by 5. Well, now I think I can shift it down further because I just was editing it wrong. So here's this. Now I'm going to bump the decibels up a little, like this. Like this. Now I'm going to bring this into Game Maker. My gosh. I was wondering why I still couldn't hear it. This was ridiculous. Okay, we're going to come in here. We're just going to import directly in Game Maker to make sure we get it right. Chapter 4, we're taking the V2. Yeah, okay. Welcome, Splinked. It's good to see you. Yeah, I should go to sleep. Absolutely should. As soon as I'm done with this one, I'm going to sleep. I just want to make sure it's not lost in the mix. And then... Yep. Oh, now it's really loud. It's too loud. But it's getting that... It's getting the variety I wanted. So that's good. Yeah, I way overcorrected the... Let's hear that again. So I think I'm going to dial it down by... Maybe... I don't even remember how many decibels I went up, but I'm just going to dial it down by a few. Okay, now I got to open the correct one. So why don't we do this? Let's just clear all of these. And let's make sure we're opening the right sound effect here. Sound, SN, CH4, Nectar. Wrong one. That's the right one, because I remember I imported it under the same. Too loud. Let's try that. Let's try that. All right. Oh yeah, now it feels... Yeah, it feels about the same now. Mm-hmm. I like it. So, I've been thinking about editing this level, but the artwork is already in. I've been thinking about giving just a little bit more space where I keep dying. Like right here. That's pretty tight. That's pretty tight. Maybe just make that a pit, you know, right here. Down a little bit. Anyway. Here goes. It's still hard. 4 pixels doesn't make a huge difference. I did just, oh, okay, I just did it twice, so it does make a difference. Oh, okay, it does. Yeah, I could adjust hitbox slightly. It's really a timing concern. Like, I would move it down by 16 pixels if I could do it again. I still haven't even done the tech. Like, I've made it through, but I haven't successfully cleared the room with it. Come on. There. So you definitely wouldn't want to split as soon as I did if you're speedrunning that. You're going to want to... Yeah. I think this is perfect. Because no normal player is going to try to make that gap, you know? So the spirit of this obstacle remains true. Most people, I think, are going to still try to beat it like this. Yeah. Loop spirit around. I don't know what you mean by loop spirit around. Because the smoke will kill your spirit if you go too far to the right. Like, you have to stop your momentum somehow to get down there. Yeah, anyway. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this stream and for hanging out. It's been good. I'm glad you guys were here to keep me company. Oh, just around the pillar. Okay. Yeah, I think I got a lot more done tonight. I think I would have ran out of emotional stamina closer to like 11:30 if I didn't have people to talk to. So I appreciate it. What we did today, we got all of Chapter 4 sound effects in, which was great. The rest of this week, I'm hoping to get all of these ones in. So I think that's very doable for sure. I think that's like maybe 2 hours. And then we'll be catching up after that. Yeah, that's the idea. Well, almost all of them. All of the ones that Adrian has made, all of the sound effects that Adrian has made. There's still a few that are in progress that he'll be working on and sending to our team for review. But the goal is to finish by October. The sound effects, all the sound effects in by October is the idea. So, all right. You're welcome for nourishing your routing brain. Thanks, everyone. All right. Until next time. I'm going to see if I can turn this off now. All right. See ya.